When we were taken, my car was used to convey us to a point. That was where we met the primary pupils and their teacher and the teacher.
Seyi Makinde, laid this foundation that eventually played out in Oyo State.
And what they hate most is noise, that it attracts attention.
Makinde should raise his voice so that it will get to the UN and to Donald Trump.
I therefore, with a full sense of responsibility, call on the United Nations system to closely examine the facts surrounding this abduction.
The governor of Oyo State calling on the United Nations to investigate the overall circumstances surrounding the kidnap and even the rescue.
It is intended to reinforce public confidence that the truth will be established.
I thought that was the most unstatesmanly. He was carrying partisan politics too far, and this nation should condemn his unguided statement. People must immediately be paraded, prosecuted, and laid low. Take his course.
But why should the federal government be jittery over it? Tell me, what has it done wrong?
Let's Makinde to settle with Wike so that he will have political future.
Hello everybody, welcome back to Plan B TV News, Gist and Blog. I felt the need to share this update with you guys since we have been following this Oyo State incident, how the kidnapper have done the teachers and the pupils and the rescues of the Nigeria commandos and the JTF and all of that. But now, here comes a new reactions that is going on social media, and I felt that you guys deserve to know. Seyi Makinde, the Oyo State governor, came out to spike a different reaction, saying that he wants the United Nations to investigate the kidnapping and the rescue of those school children. And that did not sit well with Bola Ahmed Tinubu camp. But before we start giving you their reaction, I want you guys to watch the very video of what he said. We'll be right back.
The circumstances surrounding this incident are sufficiently grave and unusual to warrant independent scrutiny beyond our domestic institutions. I therefore, with a full sense of responsibility as the executive governor of Oyo State, call on the appropriate international human rights and accountability mechanisms, including those within the United Nations system, to closely examine the facts surrounding this abduction and the circumstances of its resolution. Such scrutiny is not intended to undermine our institutions. Rather, it is intended to reinforce public confidence that the truth will be established and that every person found to bear responsibility, regardless of office, influence, or affiliation, will be held accountable. Under the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, the primary responsibility for national security rests with the federal government and the security agencies under its command. The Nigerian people, therefore, deserve a full and transparent account of what happened, who was responsible, whether there were institutional failures, negligence, or collusion at any level, and what measures must now be taken to ensure that no community is ever subjected to such an ordeal again. This is not about politics. It is about justice for the victims, reassurance for our people, and restoring public confidence that every Nigerian child can go to school without.
Now, as a Nigerian, I want you guys to pause and comment your thoughts. Do you think what Seyi Makinde said here is wrong? If yes, let us know. If no, let us know. But moving further, the Senate did not have it. Dan Soshomole and the other senators took it to the Senate House and raised a motion that Seyi Makinde is a bad person. How dare him call on the United Nations to investigate Nigeria? I want you guys to listen to what Dan Soshomole said. We'll be right back.
Mr. President, I read this morning in newspapers and I've seen it even with the electronic. The governor of Oyo State calling on the United Nations to investigate the overall circumstances surrounding the kidnap and even the rescue. I thought that was the most unstatesmanly. He was carrying partisan politics too far, and this nation should condemn his unguided statement. Nigeria is a sovereign nation. When we wake up and call on foreign authorities to investigate, this is one case in which our armed forces have shown that without paying ransom, even if it meant that these children and some of the elders had to be in captivity for almost 2 months, that the armed forces were working quietly to have these rescue operations, which, as well captured in this motion, led to some loss of life. To trivialize it, to suggest, as the governor of Oyo State seems to have done, that there is something that is not open, that the UN needs to unearth the circumstances, is to question the sovereignty of our nation and to downplay the achievement of the Commander-in-Chief, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and all the service chiefs, and in fact all those involved in this process. I think that there's a moment in the history of a nation when, across party divide, we should stand in unison to commend what has happened, the way in which people were released, and to encourage the armed forces to build on it, that they should extend and get more gadgets. It's not possible for them to share with us some of the things they did. Like I heard, they were able to identify the guys, arrest some of their relatives, etc., etc. These are not details that we're interested in. Very good point. But I want us to resolve that
Thank you.
The governor of Oyo State should not be seen as downplaying, undermining, and politicizing an issue in which ought to be something that the whole nation, across party divide, should start the unity to commend our armed forces for what they have accomplished on this occasion.
Thank you very much. We now yield the floor to...
Listening to what Adan Soshimole said, I don't just want to put the other senators' reaction so that the video will not too long. Now, they raise this motion. I don't know why they are afraid, me personally, but I will give my own reaction towards at the end of the video. Now, immediately after Makinde make that video, they went to the Senate. Nigeria was still not having it. They said, why are you trying to block him? Why are you trying to block the UN for investigating? If we call on Bola Ahmed Tinubu team, which is the normal panel you people set as a body inside the Senate to investigate, it will also be like the case of the Tollgate and the rest case of Natasha. And you know how Nigeria always set delegate to investigate a case, and they will tell you this case is dead upon arrival. They have no reason to investigate. But so since Nigeria were not having it, they moved to the next level. And they decide to call the woman in questions and the teachers, to come and defend Bola Ahmed Tinubu, to come and defend the rescue team, to come and defend the Nigeria APC government that came to rescue her, and none of that. She's trying to tell them, Bola Ahmed Tinubu is the best, make una vote for Bola Ahmed Tinubu, all thanks to the security agency that came to rescue us. But then, after she narrated all those things she was saying in the conference, on her way out, the media intercept her and they decide to ask her a different question. I want you guys to listen to what she said.
You've taken us through some of your journey while you were in there.
Okay.
How was the experience for you? 56 days.
56 days. It was, you can only imagine, and imagining it even is like believing it. It was not easy. We were in the forest, in the open, most of the time, under the sun, under the rain, with the children. But we kept going because there was no way out. We knew it's God that could only help us. So that really helped us. And the fact that we believe that people are praying for us, that also helped us as well. And I cannot say it's not God, because sometimes things we go through, you think that when you break down, that will be the end. But you just survive it.
On some of these children, we saw scars. Were there moments you were maltreated?
Personally, I was not beaten, but some of the children were beaten. You know, children, some of them are quiet, some of them are loud. And what they hate most is noise, that it attracts attention. So the youngest of them, maybe the two, Waliya and Salam, they were the one that took the best of the beating. They will close their mouth, tie it with clothes, and beat them very well. Then the men, they had it worse than us, because they were blindfolded, handcuffed, and chained on the leg. All of them, until they remained two. So,
was there any form of molestation on anybody?
Sexual molestation? No.
Mrs. Rachel, what next for you now? I mean, what's going through your mind? I know your husband can also wait to get to meet you.
I want to see my husband. When I get home, I can think of any other thing. But definitely, it has to be something that will be good for me.
How did it concern you also get the children, because they're kids? I mean, how were you able to cope with that?
We sacked them off. When we started, the first week, they were bringing biscuits for them, maybe to make them comfortable. But along the line, that stopped. Then we had to move from one point to another, and that was a major problem we had. When the place is discovered, we have to move, and that starts around 7, 8 in the night. Sometimes we walk 3, 4 hours. That is most of the bruises you see on our bodies.
The children?
Yes. They carry the last 3: Salam, Waliyat, and Testimony. The girls, the secondary school girls, will carry the other ones. They will have to walk. Will fall sometimes. A lot.
How long did it take you on that day to navigate through that forest?
When we were taken, my car was used to convey us to a point. That was where we met the primary pupils and the teacher. So we had to walk for about 1 hour. They brought bicycle machine and about 10 of them. So we were parked there. And we rode for more than 4 hours, uncharted paths, but they knew their way.
Madam, when we were released immediately, the first thing you said was, where's my car, where's my office? Was there anything that was going on in your mind at that particular time that you wanted an answer to make?
No, what actually happened, I thought they left the car there. The police will have towed the car to their office, but somebody showed me the car where it was burnt, and that was not the path we took. So I think they drove it to that point before it was touched. That was not the way we took into the forest.
Will this impact on you negatively in any way as a teacher going forward?
Going to rural area will take the grace of God. You know, with time, I've worked for 28 years, so I have 4 years. With time, maybe I can get over it, but going that far, the distance between that place and Obunosho is far already. So I sacrifice a lot when it comes to transportation. Now, coupled with this, I don't know what will happen, but for now.
If you pay good attention to what she said they were under the rain and sun. They were sleeping on the ground. The rain will beat them and all of that. And I said, wow, what kind of suffering that these people went through. No person, no human deserved that kind of punishment. But somebody that was sleeping on the floor, rain beats them and all of that. But how come some of the pupils, how come some of the students were putting up pure white hijab? You see, somebody that was sleeping on the floor for good 56 days or 55 days, 56, they came to rescue them. For 55 days on the floor, rain beats you and all of that, and your cloth will see as clean as anything, pure white hijab and all of that. Anyway, let me not just spike your doubting here. Let's calm down. Let's see the different reaction of Keakas. Keakas, some were against Shemakide, some were against Bola Ahmed Tinubu for coping all these lies on about their rescue. I'm not saying Bola Ahmed Tinubu is lying, but I'm just reacting to what Keakas said. But I want you guys to listen to their reaction. We'll be right back.
The reason he's being tagged a cloud chaser now is because he's accusing another party of ruining his political ambition. Now, the government should say, they said this, that is happening to them. They didn't accuse anybody. They might have said opposition, right? Or whatnot. But Makinde is making it seem like as if as soon as he declared, the ruling party just took a stand and then boom, they took out people from his states. But I love Seyi Makinde so much. I want him to be the president someday. Yes. But with what he's doing right now, he's watering down his ambition, right? I expect him to pull this kind of press conference after these children were taken and after a member of his state was beheaded. I didn't expect him to be calling on international support into a sovereign state. He just basically made himself or made us look helpless, like we can't solve our own.
I heard his statement where he was trying to link the kidnap with his ambition, right? I just feel he's trying to seek some atom of relevance. That's just what I feel. He's trying to take advantage of a situation to make himself important, in this presidential or whatever race he's planning. So, and of which he's not. He's not. And inviting or making reports to you and just for the still clouds, that's all. He's just seeing an unfortunate situation and trying to sell himself in that scenario as if it was when I declared, trying to make us feel is important. So, even we discussing him, yes, I'm not even happy, sir, because it's of no importance.
So I trying to say the government is a cloud chaser?
I don't know. For him, yes. In this scenario, yes.
Okay.
He's seeking unnecessary attention.
Okay.
In this scenario, yes.
I share my thoughts with that of Richie. Makinde does not even have a political party to run with. INEC have recognized Wike's faction. So, how is Makinde a threat? Showore has a political clout than Makinde. So saying that he declared today, they kidnap tomorrow, is just showing his incompetence, because there have been reports that have been showing that terrorists have been moving from Kwara towards that, that axis. What is it called now? The abandoned former national animal reserve or games reserve, and he did nothing about it. Now this opportunity scenario has happened, and glory be to God, they've been rescued and it's coming to chase clouds. Our advice, Makinde, to settle with Wike so that he will have political future.
We as Nigerians, Tinubu stood and said that the insecurities in Nigeria are targeted to disrupt his political and 2027 political ambition. So it is very safe, based on what you all said, to say that even the current government are clout chasers. That is what it means. That was what Tinubu said. So suddenly, because now Makinde said it, then suddenly he has become a clout chaser. The thing is, we need to target the problem of Nigeria and Nigerian government from the root. Let us not just take it from the surface. Because the insecurity, it's obvious, and I can tell you, I'm not there, but I can tell you that truly it was targeted at him. Then suddenly we are all turning him to cloud chasers. But that was something the president said.
Thank you. Okay, unfortunately, most of the things we see in the media, for me, they are scripted. Because it's just like two people who have gone into a deal, and the sharing formula does not favor them. So we start hearing the other party complaining. Back in there, requesting for independent investigation, calling UN and international organizations to come and investigate what happened in Oyo, it shows lack of trust in the system that Nigeria runs as a whole. Let's put this side by the issue with the Baja, the chief of staff to the president, who the other guy is asking that independent outfit should be allowed to investigate what transpired. Why the president has given a go-ahead order to the ICPC to investigate. And this guy say, no, I don't trust in this system. Give an independent organization or outfit to investigate it. It means that there's this trust deficit system that we are dealing with. How do you think that ICPC will indict the chief of staff of the president? How do you think the security agencies will say this is what exactly happened in Oyo State? They are not going to tell you. Because what happened to the retired army general that was killed? Did they tell you how the whole thing happened? The state told you that he died as for a natural cause while in the den of the kidnappers. Who understand that? Who get to understand that these are things that are being scripted for us to believe that the government is doing their job? For me, that Oyo incident was just a charade. It was just like, give me, I give you, let's come to the table and talk. At the end of the day, The kidnapping was scripted. I wouldn't say it was scripted completely, but these guys were somewhere drinking tea, if I may say. And some people were beheaded. The government can do anything to make you believe whatever they want to believe. If you watch, maybe because I watch too much movies, and I understand that when government want to do something, they can use the closest person to be an escape route. And they will make their things look real to everybody. So for me, when I listen to that news, when I had the nothing this stuff, is he helpless? Yes, he's the state governor. We saw what happened in River State. We saw what happened in other states. We saw what happened in Plateau State. When the governor of the Plateau State came to a crime scene in an ammo tank, a state governor. So what are we even saying? Governors are helpless. And if you cannot protect them as the president, they bust out on the table. During Jonathan, it was he. But now we are shifting responsibilities to the governors. So these are double standards. Okay. So we should make sure that we face things the way they are. Thank you. Thank you.
Now you listen to the reaction of the Kiakas, but it didn't end there. I want you guys to watch the reaction of VOP TV when they ask, do you think what Makinde said is right and none of that? I want you guys to listen to what he said.
Just yesterday, Sheyi said, well, he wants UN, United Nations, to investigate the Orire kidnap. He said, there has never been any school kidnap in Oyo State until hours after I declared my ambition to be president of this country. Was it proper that the president and the governor didn't discuss that issue, even for once? How do you react to this development? And the call by Sheyi, UN should step in and investigate what happened.
Well, Mr. Koro, I'm not sympathizing so much with Sheyi Makinde. I only sympathize with the parents and the children and those that were murdered recently on that adoption. Sheyi Makinde, laid this foundation that eventually played out in Oyo State in 2022, 2023 when he GG5 Foundation, when he aligned with Wike to bring in the president that we're talking about now. As at that time, he was like a godfather. But when the issue happened now, he just suddenly remembered that he's alone and there was no call from the president on this matter. So Sheyi Makinde and the president, they are politicians, they are political allies or whatever, so we should not be bringing them into what happens. If it is sweet with them, they know how they enjoy it.
The statement he made about the kidnap taking place hours after he declared
I'm still going there. I'm still going there. You see, what happened in Oyo State is part of the insecurity that we'll be crying about in this nation, which the president, APC, said in 2015 that late Muhammadu Buhari was coming to solve it. 8 years of Buhari was a monumental failure. Tinubu came in and said, he was going to continue from where Buhari stopped. We are seeing the effect of that statement he made now. Part of it is that now the insecurity has even left the northern part of Nigeria, now it's now in the south. We've not seen this kind of adoption in the south before now. So for Sheyi Makinde calling on UN, this is an eternal thing. Let's call a spade a spade. If the government is failing, it's failing. If Nigeria have to call on UN, Iran call on UN, US call on UN, how will they be able to now begin to talk of external? If you look at even the Iraq, Russia and Ukraine, they've not even been able to solve it.
Now, here comes the moment they sent somebody to Arise TV News to meet with Mr. Charles and said, "Did you know that the Nigerian military cover this forest? This is how they did it. Helicopter were flying on the skies and they rescued these people." And he decided to explain in details how the rescue was carried out. I want you guys to watch.
It is a forest, a very thick forest, spanning about 2,000 kilometers. Very thick. And like I said with you, the last interview we have is that the most important thing, we should learn how to give information to the authority. See it, say it, and sort it. But in Nigeria, we see it and we keep quiet. Until we have that reorientation to try and help the system. I was gisting with some of my friends. Look at the rescue operation, the way it was done, in my view, because I know the terrain very well. Fortunately for us, there's a federal government road in a town called Ibokwe to Igbowo and Ibokwe to Kishi. Had it been there's no that road, you'll have escaped. So the military people were on that road. That is to the north. And then to the east is Secretary, another town where they could have been able to pass. The military were there. And to the west, we have Ibeti, where another place they could have passed. They couldn't move. So they were curtailed inside. And then from the south, we have the Esiele, where the incident, where they took them up. So immediately they were inside. And then there's a surveillance that was able to narrow them that they are here. Some people were saying it's because they've arrested their family and this. If that road had been free and the military didn't block it, they would have gone. Right. That's where I give kudos to our military officers. All of them. And then there was what is called collaboration among them. Charles,
which is something a lot of people have been calling for.
About 4 weeks ago, I was home and I saw a naval battalion passing through Bomashaw, heading towards that Ikoyi. That I was now wondering, what is Navy coming to do here? But I didn't know every one of them have a role to play. The special squad came from the NSA office. You won't believe it, the GOC, the garrison commander, all of them were on the spot. So they were determined, they were ready to take off. So at the end of the day, there was this synergy. And it helps.
One question I will ask, he said the forest is about 2,000 acres. 2,000, he said the forest was about 2,000 meters, like 2,000. Anyway, 2,000. It's quite funny on how these people come on national TV to lie. But then let's listen to Mr. Dality on VOP TV. Please, let's watch this video together. We'll be right back.
When some of these governors want to defect from their own party to APC, Tinubu will give them royal welcome in Aso Rock. But something like this happened in your region. You did not take on the governor. Come, let's talk. How do we go about this thing? And you said the man should not be suspicious. In fact, Makinde should raise his voice so that it will get to the UN and to Donald Trump. Let them probe that thing that happened in Oyo, so that it may even stop people from going further with such nonsense. Don't play politics with women's lives.
But that's what they're already doing.
That's what they are doing. That's why Makinde is worried.
Even Makinde calling on UN and whatever is as a result of frustration.
Of course.
These are internal
because what is them?
These are just internal problems.
Fayose was even blaming Makinde. That's why the man wants to exonerate himself. Abi? Yes, now. Fayose was blaming Makinde. Makinde was playing politics with those kidnapped. That it should be responsibility of Makinde. And the man said, okay, no problem. Oh yeah, let the external body come and probe me. So why should the federal government be jittery over it? Tell me, what has he done wrong? I support him. Let them come and probe this thing and let the facts come out.
You have listened to all of this video, but I'll ask you guys one question. What are your thoughts? Do you still believe by the conviction of the FCT, the federal government, saying that it was a rescue? Or do you believe that what we believe that this was true ransom? Or in the first place, there was never kidnapping and abduction or neither rescue. It was just a way of frustrating Seyi Makinde as what Seyi Makinde claimed. What do you also think about Seyi Makinde calling on the UN and the Nigeria Senate are angry? They say, what will you call on the UN? Oh, do you want the UN to come and investigate and expose us? No, why can't you just tell us to investigate ourselves and give you a report? You see the way Oshomole we are shouting. So why are they afraid? Because the same people, if you tell them not to investigate these whole issues, the way they investigate the toll gate, the same thing. After the toll gate, they swept the case under carpet. When Natasha accused Akpabio, they swept the case under carpet. About Peter Obi case, they swept the case under carpet. Go and call on every case that this Senate have investigated. None have hid a good profit. And now they're telling Seyi Makinde, no, don't call on the United Nations. We will do it ourselves. Anyway, what are your thoughts? Let us know in the comment section. I love you guys. Until we meet again. Peace out.
What is important going forward now is to take a cue. Now we have people arrested. These people must immediately be paraded, prosecuted, and laid low. Take its course. Delaying prosecution will create another impression that something is amiss. I therefore call on the prosecutorial authorities to please, as a matter of urgency, let them prosecute, let them parade, let them show an example to these people.
I'd also like to join my voice in appreciating the efforts of Mr. President and the army and every other persons who were involved in the rescue of the children and the teachers. But I would like to add a vital part to this motion, please. And it has to do with the provision of psychological support, trauma counseling, and rehabilitation for the rescued victims to facilitate their full recovery from the trauma. And if it may be extended to every other kidnapped victims. We shouldn't just rescue them and expect them to reintegrate into the society. It's often not easy because most of them will suffer from PTSD and all whatnot. So in summary, the need for us to incorporate the provision of psychological support, trauma counseling, and rehabilitation for the rescued victims, not just for the Oyo victims, but every other kidnapped victims. Thank you.